Yeah.
Now there's some spooky, eerie stuff um, that it's really interesting. Is you're going to find out. I don't know very much about him, but nobody else does either.
Right.
Nobody knows anything about this guy.
Oh, really?
There's
It's
not
so
a
much of it is a
diary.
guess and assumption based on things that were going on in the time.
Yeah, it's just absolutely crazy. He was born. They're guessing he was born in 1450, somewhere within a year or two of that.
Oh my
And
God.
he's from the Netherlands. He's from an area called Bosch, and so he took on the surname of Bosch um, as he went through life. He lived for amazingly long time. He lived to be 65 or 66 years old.
Wow.
1400 or the mid 1500s. That was old.
That was big time.
Ancient. Yeah.
That's no running water, folks. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. No penicillin. Uh,
no penicillin. Yeah.
and so uh, uh, he's notably uh, responsible and probably the most notable early Netherlandish Renaissance painter. Um, Amazing stuff. Really went to different, a lot of this is, obviously narrative for religion and um, some of it is really nightmarish, though also. His work generally was on oil and in oil on oak wood. Um, Contains fantastic illustrations of religious concepts and narratives. His work was he was very successful. He sold work. He was commissioned to do work in the Netherlands, Austria, and Spain. And most importantly, he was wildly copied. He has a huge amount of followers. And crazy enough, I mean, there's a bigger number than this, but there's only 25 paintings that they honestly know that were his.
Wow.
Uh,
Yeah,
8 drawings and 25 paintings.
but they're so detailed.
Yeah.
So
Right.
detailed.
Right.
He worked in most of what he did was in the triptych, 3 panels, a lot of what he did anyway. And I mean, his biggest follower was Bruegel. But there's so many imitators out there, and it's actually very difficult to put this together because there were so many things that are listed that people include with his work, but as followers of his. But these are the ones that are known.
So it's 25. It's like the highest confidence that it was his. They
Yes.
could
Hmm.
they could
Yeah,
say
and then there's
yes,
only another
25.
handful that are like, eh, probably so, and then the rest fall in the category of followers.
Wow.
Here's some details from
Oh
this.
my gosh, I love his work so much.
Yeah.
Like, so my question is, I know a lot of this is symbolic, but I've always considered him a surrealist. Could he be considered a surrealist?
Yeah, they do consider him a surrealist.
Would he be one of the earliest
I would
examples of
I I,
surrealism?
I would think so.
Because I want to claim that for him, but I'm never confident in that.
Well, when I see his work, I'm like, I always think like, well, Dali would have never gone here if it weren't
For him,
for
yeah.
Bosch. Yeah,
Yeah, I just didn't
and
know
he's
if there was
paving the
someone
way partly.
before him that did it too.
I don't know very many of the titles, but this is the Seven Deadly Sins.
And the last one was the Garden of Earthly Delights.
Yep. This
I
this
think
one. That was his most famous painting.
Hmm.
It's not going to take, it's not, this is not a very long talk because there's not a lot of work. I included some of his followers in here, a few of the paintings.
Well, and like the funnel on the head was like symbolic for people claiming to be wise, but they're giving false information. Like it's so there's
awesome.
always lots of interesting things behind all the little details that I dig into.
That's great. Thank you, Cassandra.
Hmm.
I don't think I've ever seen it. Seen
I
these
love these
before.
drawings. Yeah, they're so
I've
good.
seen that drawing. That's awesome.
It looks like a
It's the first,
political cartoon.
yeah, it's the first concept artist, right?
Yeah.
Now he would have been painting for magic.
That would have been a sick.
Oh,
That
Yeah.
would have been
yeah.
a
I
sick
also think he
Pokemon.
might have been doing political stuff too. He was-
Somebody needs to make like
Oh, yeah.
an 18th century Pokemon collection.
Um, there in the Garden of Earthly Delights, there's a lot of butts. I'm
John,
highly entertained by all the butts in his painting.
John, can you go back 2 slides? I just
Yeah.
want, for people who don't know, because we see this every week on Drawing Hive, and I'm sure there's a lot of artists that are young and maybe don't know. That's one of the features, right? The design, right? Is that not it?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I just want to like I just want people to know like it's inspired, like that thing that I can't remember who posts that. Who posts that?
Oh, it's from Garden of Earthly Delights too.
No, but the Drawing Hive student that
Oh,
the
yeah, yeah,
Drawing
yeah.
Hive person that posts their art in the style.
Oh
of
my
that.
goodness.
Oh,
yes.
that's
I'm trying to
Nicole. That's
Okay.
Nicole.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
Nicole.
yeah, Nicole.
Nicole makes she does all of the Drawing Hive work in this style. It's fun.
Yes.
I love it.
Yes, it's
Sorry,
always Bosch. It makes
I
me
just-
absolutely ecstatic.
It's one of those things where you're like, hey, guys, this is the Easter egg.
Yeah, I kind of
Wow.
wish Nicole was here helping with me with this because she would know so much more about him. Well, maybe there's not
No,
that
Nicole
much.
chimed in the chat and said, "I make my middle school kids draw his creatures. They are so weirded out, and they really dig the drawings. They want to make their own."
Yes.
Yeah, Nicole. Yeah, you're a crazy middle school teacher. That's awesome. I love it.
I know. All art students in middle school would be
Yeah.
fortunate to have Nicole as an instructor.
Hell yeah, yeah.
I recommend picking one of his paintings and just taking 10 minutes and just staring at it. Find all of the crazy stuff going on. I did that with the Garden of Earthly Delights. I like did a couple pieces this year inspired by some of his work. And before I started, I just took time out to just stare at it. And there's lots of butts, but there's a butt that has music on it. And I've forever just been like, what does that sound like? What does that sound like? And
Yeah.
there is a harpist that actually played it on Instagram, and I messaged her and I was like, you don't know how crazy I've been wanting to know what this song is. And so we
funny.
had a great laugh about it, and we're friends on Instagram over music on the butt of somebody in a Hieronymus Bosch painting.
So his grandfather was a painter, Jan van Eycken, and his father was also a painter. But his grandfather had 5 sons. 4 of them were artists and painters. And so he was trained either by his father or his uncles, which I thought was interesting. And he lived basically in the same town until he got married, and he married a wealthy woman that inherited a huge estate, and which was not that far away from you, but in another area, another town, and lived the rest of his life there. There's literally no mention of anything beyond that. There's nothing about any theory. There's nothing about any beliefs that he had. Absolutely nothing.
Awesome.
It's just the artwork.
I love
Well,
that.
there's things like fire, like in that last painting, you'll see it there. It was in several other. Fire is very prominent. And they said it's because he went through a great fire like in his town
Yeah,
and
he was.
was
Yeah.
pretty traumatized by it. And like, just because of the town he was in at that time, they knew he was there. So that plays in a lot of his paintings.
Yeah,
There's just
Ben,
details
you've
like
read
that.
it. You've read about this
Very
because
cool.
I read that earlier. That's like in, I guess, 1463, 4,000 houses in his town were destroyed.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? That's got to be the town. I mean, that's a fairly substantial town.
Yeah,
And,
that can't help but be affected by
and
that level.
he was just 13 years old and he witnessed it. So,
Wow.
and survived
So
it.
he was middle aged.
Yeah, yeah. On a second marriage.
He was on his second marriage.
He had 3 kids.
Yeah.
But see, there's fire again. Like it's
Definitely had
very,
kidney stones. Yeah. All right. Back
but like
pain.
you'll once you start to learn the details
Yeah.
of the time, like you see
Yeah.
fire everywhere. Like it's something that stuck with him, and it's imagery that always comes up in his paintings.
That's fascinating, Cassandra. Oh my God, that's so creepy.
It's
Yeah,
depiction of
so
hell.
good.
That's haunting. Oh my God.
And
That's so
so,
heavy. He's kind of heavy metal. I love it.
Oh, he is. He is, and
Yeah.
everyone loved it. Like
Yeah.
because if you look at it, if this is in church, this is
Oh my
something that
God.
you can stare at and learn a lot from. And a lot of people, not everybody was reading. So to be able to see such an interesting painting that
Hmm.
illustrates different stories in front of you, like that's captivating.
Not
Oh yeah.
everybody was, very few people could read.
Yeah.
This
Right.
is this is this is barely when before the printing press is invented, and studying with his father would have been a natural thing or something, because this is well before, art academies and schools were
Yeah.
set up. It was basically apprenticeships.
No, yeah. If somebody could read, you were like, well, are you a doctor or the president?
Right.
Right.
So to be
Yeah.
able to have something that
Yeah.
is so visual with
Yeah.
so much going on, like that's exciting.
Hmm.
okay, so things, I think after, here we go, a couple more here. Things are getting very questionable if this was his work or not. Oh my God, Dale just Stefanos
I was
just
going to
walked.
say, on the topic of being able to read.
Yeah, there's Dale.
See, kids, this is what happens when you don't learn how to read.
Yeah.
You just show up late.
Yeah.
You show
No,
up.
it's
Okay, so this is definitely all followers from here
Yeah.
on out,
Hmm. Yeah, you're right,
or
John.
questionable work
Okay.
if it was his or not.
I mean, you've got a big task for you, John. Every week you grab a million images.
Well, this was
Yeah.
one of the more difficult ones, just
Yeah.
clarity of what was his and what wasn't.
It's so funny that if I go back 50 years and I showed the image you just showed to my grandma, John, like it'll freak her out. But then if I go back 500 years, people are like sick. I think that's so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
They're like,
this
"Hell
Kids
is
yeah."
these days.
this
Kids
is a
these
likeness
days.
of him, but they're
Wow.
not sure if it's a self-portrait or not. So they
Right.
don't know who painted it. The drawing at the beginning was a
Yeah.
self-portrait that he did.